With the emergence of platforms like Comicstaan, Amazon Prime Video, Netflix, and crazy amount of views on YouTube, stand-up comedians are finding a larger audience and gaining much more exposure. Just think about the last time you had a great laugh. Chances are it probably came out from a comedian telling you a joke or sharing a funny story. Stand-up comedy has the ability to make us laugh, think, and even challenge our beliefs. So the thing that sets stand-up comedy different from other forms of entertainment is the personal touch. Stand-up comedians often draw from their own perspective and experience to create a story that is entirely their own. They can take a boring topic and turn it into something hilarious by adding their own humor.
I wished I knew you, man, at that time.
You can still know me. I'm here after the show.
Ziggy, are you flirting with me?
One of the reasons why stand-up comedians like Zakir Khan, Anubhav Singh Bassi, Kunal Kamra are so popular is because their incidents are relatable. They talk about the day-to-day incidents that all of us have to face at certain points in our life. They talk about crushes, loves, friendships, emotions that most of us have gone through at some point or other. As a result, people can really associate with their jokes. Another reason why these stand-up comedians are so popular is because their dialogues are really memorable, and we love using these dialogues in our day-to-day conversation as well.
Give me a hug. देखो ऐसे में बड़ा सख्त लौंडा हूं लेकिन यार यहाँ में पिघल गया.
Now, the history of stand-up comedy dates back even before the television era. In the 1930s, nightclubs were a popular venue for the stand-up comedy. During the 1950s, the rise of television brought the stand-up comedy into millions of homes. Shows like The Tonight Show gave comedians like Johnny Carson and Jerry Lewis a national audience. Then came the era of comedy clubs. In the 1970s, comedy clubs started to emerge as a new venue for the stand-up comedy. These clubs gave comedians a place to perform and experiment with new props in the similar settings. In 2005, a show called The Great Indian Laughter Challenge went on air, and it was one of the most popular shows at that time. Because of this, stand-up comedy in itself started getting recognized. Comedians like Kapil Sharma, Raju Srivastav, Bharti, Ehsan Qureshi became household names. The rise of mainly stand-up comedy in India started in 2015 when All India Box Show, also known as AIB, was started by comedians Tanmay Bhatt, Roshan Joshi, Gurisman Khamba, and Ashish Sakya. AIB reintroduced satire and sarcasm in its raw state without any censorship. When I Met a Delhi Girl is a stand-up comedy performed by Zakir Khan on AIB Divas, and it has over 75 million views on YouTube. In the digital era, comedians can reach a global audience through the use of social media platforms like YouTube and Instagram. Many comedians have used these platforms to build a career online by creating a following and then selling out shows around the world. Take the example of Satish Ray, who have built their audience that loves their jokes and sarcasm.
मैं बाढ़ आई थी तो सारे नेता घर में दुबके हुए थे. मैं दौरे पे निकला स्विट्जरलैंड के.
So people, the question is, why are so many people becoming stand-up comedians these days? Well, everywhere you look, you find people who are stressed out. Many people reach a breaking point and sink into depression, which only few of our grandparents experienced, yet it is so common today. The lives are complicated, and this is where stand-up comedy plays a huge role. Stand-up comedy provides an escape to the stresses of everyday lives. Even the stand-up comedy is just for a certain period of time. It is a way to laugh at our own problems and forget our worries. And for the comedians themselves, it is a way to share their unique perspective on the world and connect with others through humor. Now let's talk about the benefits of being a stand-up comedian. First off, one of the biggest benefits of being a stand-up comedian is getting to travel the world. Comedy clubs and festivals are held all over the globe, which means you get to explore new cities and cultures while doing what you love. Next up, let's talk about money. Now I'm not going to say that you are going to earn a set amount of money right away, but once you establish yourself as a comedian, the earning potential is huge. You can make a living doing what you love. Speaking of opportunities, having a huge social media following is another great advantage of being a comedian. Social media allows you to connect with all the fans all over the world. That means you are going to be an influencer, and you probably know what are the benefits of being an influencer. But people, beside all of this, being able to make a room full of people laugh is the most rewarding thing for stand-up comedian. Now the main question is, how hard is it to become a stand-up comedian? Well, picture this. You are standing in front of a room full of strangers and you have no idea about their humor. You are expected to make them laugh all while those spotlights are cooking you. Even if you are really funny, there is no guarantee that the people will like your jokes and sarcasm. It is totally possible that you will fall on your face and it might not even be your fault. So like in every career, at the beginning you have to struggle, and slowly you build an audience that will get your sarcasm and jokes. While we might only see the success of stand-up comedians traveling the world, earning a lot of money just by telling jokes, it is super important to understand their early struggles. They are doing stand-ups because this is what they love to do, not because they want to be rich. So people, I am Ayush and you are watching The Inside Story. Subscribe for more.